that have worked for women, you can go apply those to the men. And even though you're using the basic formula, because they're men, they'll be a little bit different, and vice versa. And there's so many of them over history. It's like there are plenty of secondary things to kind of prop up the Bayley and Sasha aspect of it. There's ways to keep feeding them challengers and obstacles and all that. WWE has an insane roster, and Baszler and Bianca just weren't used. And I'm just sitting there thinking, how could they work with Bayley and Sasha? How could they work with them? Like, Bayley and Sasha don't have to beat them all. Bayley and Sasha are so good that they can be beaten and use each other as an excuse. That's the beauty of it. Like, they are so good at basic things. And then when they get in the ring, they're so good at the intricate things that it just makes really great TV. There's nothing that I've heard Bayley say that is like groundbreaking. It's elementary heel stuff. But when she says it in a way that I'm like, man, that's really good. That's so good. It's like so entertaining. Her yelling at a cameraman on Friday to get out of her way. It was really good. Her yelling at Michael Cole was really great. So I think it was at the last pay-per-view, maybe Great American Bash or something like that. She went and got in a car and honked the horn to distract Io Shirai. I was like, that is such easy stuff, and it makes it so good. I think they could drag this out another 6 months. If they wanted to drag it out another year, I think they could. But at this point, I'm thinking that I don't know of a bigger WrestleMania main event right now than Bayley versus Sasha Banks eventually, because who else you got? You don't know if Roman's going to be back. Who knows what Brock's going to do? You going to drag in some other part-timer? No, Bayley and Sasha are the hottest things on TV right now.
But that's the gamble that they have to keep in mind. If I was in the creative office, I wouldn't just have all of my eggs in the Sasha basket with Bayley, because after that explodes, I mean, there's only so long a storyline. We've seen storylines drag on too long. We've seen storylines start and immediately stop, and then we've seen some stop too soon. But one of the worst is when there's a storyline that's gone on too long. Yeah. And so what I want to see from The Office is them doing double duty by starting to build other people. This is a perfect time to be building Naomi. Naomi has not had nearly the spotlight that she's deserved in the last 10 years. Like some of the truth bombs that she was spilling on Total Divas a couple years ago was like, guys, this is a role model for real. Why are you guys not capitalizing on this? Like, for example, as a young girl growing up in a social media world, you have to understand, like, kids are so enveloped in social media from the ages of even before they're 5 years old. That's a lot of access to violence, cyberbullying, sexualization, so much that their young minds can't process. So then when you have somebody like a Naomi on TV telling another superstar on TV that she's beautiful just the way she is, and she doesn't need to surgically enhance her body because little girls look up to her and they feel beautiful because that girl feels beautiful, that is powerful stuff for a young kid to be watching. And it was like, I was waiting for the WWE universe to really zone in on that and hone in on it and pick it up. And nobody ever did. And I felt like that was kind of Naomi being Naomi. And what kind of better role model for kids than someone who's being true to who they are? That's the best, because that's authenticity. And I think this could be a really big time for that.
Yeah, and I think that she'll approach a situation a lot like Daniel Bryan, Becky Lynch, Kofi Kingston, where she's been there so long. And I mean, she's had her championship runs, as all of them except for Kofi did have, that people will be like, okay, we want her to get her shine. And she got a nice, they had a plan for a really good story a few years ago leading into her WrestleMania at her hometown, and she won the title there. And that was great. But I mean, she's been pitching to team with like Bianca Belair for months. And to me, I'm looking at this and I'm like, well, Bianca hasn't been doing anything. And now Bianca's just teaming up with Ruby Riott, and we don't know of any connection between those two. Naomi's been asking to team with Bianca. And I had a lot of people say, oh, well, they don't like to split up married couples. Her husband's sitting at home with a knee injury right now. Like, everything's at the Performance Center. You're not splitting up a couple by sending one to Raw or SmackDown. Yeah. And eventually, Bianca could split from Naomi. I think Naomi is a very sympathetic figure, and Bianca could be a big heel, a big baby face. We've not seen Naomi really go as a heel in years and years and years. There's so many different things you could do just with that. You team them for a while. They meet some degree of success. They split. It helps both of them. It gives them both something to do.
And I'm sorry, but doing it the way you just said, I think is very, very smart, because it'll take less time to build up two as opposed to each individually. So it's less time, more opportunity, and just all around more. So if they put them two together, they're rising up two talents that were not being utilized anywhere close to what they're capable of. And then you also can, if you put those two together, then you have extra time to also build up someone like Liv Morgan on her own, and also simultaneously build up Shayna Baszler while keeping Asuka strong. Now you have so many people that could be valuable as well as believable contenders to dethrone Bayley and Sasha. Now that's a lot more smart than just relying on Bayley and Sasha for an entire WrestleMania. You see what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, and it's a lot easier to play off of somebody. Like imagine Bianca and Naomi playing off of each other. Like when they talk backstage, like they've got Naomi coming out and just saying the same old stuff and being like, "Oh, I'm Naomi, and you're gonna feel the glow." It's like, yeah, we've heard her say that 100 times. You all don't have to have her say that. Have her show us something about herself. Like, because she's got the cool look. Her hair is different every single time.